Oftentimes people will say jiu-jitsu is my therapy. And the reason why they say things like that is because it does provide a mental health benefit. And for me, the best way to frame it is the fact that it can be a core grounding habit, regular interactions with friends. And the people who go to jiu-jitsu are generally pretty cool. So you're having regular interactions with people who are pretty cool, which is like huge for mental health. If you're sitting at home and you don't know what to do and you are playing video games and you don't have any in-person interaction, signing up for a class will get you that. But when you go to jiu-jitsu class, on top of that, you're actually having, physical contact with people. You're grabbing them, you're wrestling them, and having physical contact with another human being does have mental health benefits. Being able to see people regularly, to have that physical contact, and you're seeing people regularly in a group that's actively working towards the same goal. Because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a solo sport in the sense that you go out there on the mat and you do it yourself. But as a team, you're all getting better. As a team, you are practicing moves, you are discovering new tricks and secrets you learn here or there, and you're doing them on your training partners and you're showing them, hey, this is how I did that. And then when you actually go out to compete, everybody's there kind of as a team supporting each other. So it's not just social interaction, it's not just the physical contact, but it's everybody working towards the same goal that's really difficult. And so when you do things that are really, really difficult, I think it has a very positive effect on mental health, especially for men and boys. When you don't have something you can struggle against, especially physically, you sort of have this lack of confidence inside of you. And taking that time to struggle at something, it can be anything. It can be a different sport. It could be weightlifting. It could be running. Tons of things could do it, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is one of those difficult things that allows you to just spend so much time in that struggle, teaching you that other areas of life are easier to overcome. Because within Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you have micro struggles. You have those times where you're really frustrated because you've been trying to do something and it's not working. Or someone who is better than you is really just beating you into the mat and it sucks because you have to tap a bunch of times and it's uncomfortable and you're being squashed. And in those moments, you can learn these micro lessons. You can give up and back down from a challenge and honestly stop showing up, or you can react to it in a bad way. You can get angry, but it's not helpful. It doesn't make your jiu-jitsu better. You're still gonna get smashed. So if you take a step back and you take a breather and you sort of assess the situation, it's gonna actually have that effect. So when you do it in jiu-jitsu, then you have a different situation where someone is confronting you, or you have this problem at work. You're not gonna be as likely to get frustrated because it's a smaller problem. If someone's trying to choke you, that's like a life, that's a crazy problem, but at work or whatever, it's not that big of a deal. So you can take the lessons from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the ability to withstand difficulty and struggle and apply them to other areas of life. And lastly, the thing that ties it all together is the fact that class is at the same time every single week. And that may not seem like a big deal or anything, but having your circadian rhythm set or having a thing you need to go to regularly really is super grounding for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class, because you can't show up to a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class, not having showered. You need to cut your nails. You obviously need to have your clothes ready and good to go and need to be ready to train. And if you don't do all those things, like you don't brush your teeth, like you're just gonna have weird looks and you're not gonna be able to be part of the group, which is, all that things we talked about earlier. So you wouldn't think about it, but people who don't have anything that's grounding them, they don't have a job or they don't, have a specific activity they need to go to, there's almost no reason to get up at the same time every day, and it just can create a bunch of chaos in your circadian rhythm, which really affects your mental health. So that's, I'd say, the shortest, most concise version of how Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu affects your mental health.